All right, guys. So we should be live, I think. Hope everybody's doing great out there today. And I don't know how this is going to sound. I don't know how well this is going to work. I'm using the new Lewitt Connect 6 interface that has an expander on it. So it should technically be kind of capping off all of the peaks and stuff on my voice and kind of trying to even things out a little bit more, I think. But yeah, it should be doing the same thing to the guitar once we kick the guitar in. I'm not sure about the levels yet. It doesn't really seem to be working the way that I thought it would. But yeah, so how's everybody doing? It's been a little while since I've done a live stream. I've spent all day working on a video project, working on a guitar, and I kind of just needed a little bit of a break, and I figured I would just do a little bit of a live stream since it's been a minute since we've done one. But how's everybody doing today? Sounds pretty even. Okay, cool. Very cool. All right, cool. Love my live streams. Awesome, man. I'm glad to hear it. I think I need to make the size on this a little bit bigger. I'm going to get real close and in your face for a second. Hi. So, I can barely read the text as is, so I got to change that real quick. Having a real hard time getting everything lined up the way I want it here. So I was super pumped because when I had this idea, I'm like, oh, I'm basically already set up for this. Let's do it. It's going to be awesome. And then, of course, that didn't work. So, yeah, it is what it is. So we're going to do this. And we're going to scale it, okay? Arrangement. Let's just mirror. I think that's going to be easier. And now I should be able to read this a little bit easier. I just want to make sure that I can read your live stream, your comments okay, and also monitor my audio. So yeah, things are working out great so far. So now that I can actually read your comments, all right, Paul, what's up, Paul? So I got a Granifier, or an Obsidian. I had the Granifier. I got an Obsidian recently. Actually, you guys are gonna laugh. This is very Kyle Bull of me. I got two Obsidians at the same time. My buddy Jason Howell just happened to have gotten one in a trade, and he was like, dude, you need this. He made me a pretty decent deal, so I bought it. And then, of course, the next day, Joe Balaguer is like, I'm getting rid of my Obsidian. I want to get rid of it kind of quickly. Like, would you want to buy it for a decent price? And the reason that I bought both of them is because I bought Jason's first, thinking, I want an Obsidian in the collection. And then, of course, Joe hits me up the next day. But I bought Joe's because his has somewhat of a matching faceplate to my Granifier. So I will probably end up keeping Joe's and selling the one that Jason sold to me. So if anybody's interested in a Granifier, it was made in September of 2022. So it's basically the brand new. It's hardly been played. So I'm going to sell the one that Jason sold to me, and I'm going to keep the one that Joe sold to me just because it matches my Granifier, and that's pretty much the only reason. It seems like that is what happens with Obsidians, man. It seems like everybody ends up with two, so kind of hilarious. Grit Phillips says he's loving the Randall Satan Kemper stuff. That's awesome, man. I actually had somebody else hit me up recently too and say that the Kemper profiles that they got from me are their favorite profiles that they've ever played, and they've bought tons of packs. And to me, that's absolutely nuts. Honestly, it's nuts that you guys are digging the Kemper stuff that much. makes me feel like I need to dig into it a little bit more. That was kind of like a summertime project for me, and I've just put it off because in the winter I just try to get tons of filming done. I'm gonna have tons of videos coming out this week, but anyways, yeah. So if you guys are interested in, I was thinking about making a quad cortex pack and a Kemper profiler pack of the 6505, the new 6505 1992 original. Let me know. And then also I am working my way into making some impulse responses of the new cab that PV sent me with the new 1230 plus speakers, but would love to do some stuff for the Omega stuff too. The thing is the Omega, as rare as these amplifiers are, as hard as they are to get your hands on, it seems like there's a bunch of profiles out there for these things already. So I want to make the stuff that you guys want to get from me. So I may put up a poll soon and see what profiles you'd like for me to make next. But anyways, real quick, let me know what types of Kemper or Quad Cortex profiles you would like to see from me. And I'm going to do a little riff on this amp real quick because I haven't really gotten to play it all that much, to be 100% honest. All right, so those were pretty much first riffs there. Curious how it sounds, curious how the guitar audio sounds, because again, I have that expander on. I'm not sure if there was any pumping going on in the palm mutes or anything, but if there was, let me know. Somebody said that I should make a profiles of my whole amp collection. Guys, I have at the moment, I think 73 amps, 74. So a collection, a whole amp collection is not going to exist for a long, long time. So just throwing that out there. Don't want to lead anybody on. There is no way that that is going to happen anytime soon. Yeah, 70 some amps. Not going to happen. I have just as many cabs, if you guys can believe that. So I've actually been putting off. Hold on. I'm going to adjust my light here. It's a little harsh. There we go. That's a little better. So yeah, I really want to get into the impulse response thing though, because the impulse response, pretty much anybody can use those. You don't have to have a quad cortex. You don't have to have the Kemper. Anybody can use the impulse response stuff even with like a 2-notes captor or something like that. So I have a lot of really cool, unique cabs. I literally have an entire collection of Marshall 1960 cabs that each have a different speaker, like some vintage blackbacks, some vintage G1265s, vintage Ventback 75s. I've got a really cool collection going on. I mean, even if I just did my Marshall packs, like I've got 8 different speakers. My Marshall 1960B has some 90s English V30s in them. Like I've got a lot of cool stuff that I could make cool packs for you guys. The crackling under the palm mute seems to be something going on with the amp. So one thing I have noticed with the Omega amps is they're so sensitive that they pick up every single little noise. Every single little noise that comes from your guitar, that comes from your hand, they pick it up. So they force you to play clean. They force you to fix any issues you might have with your guitar. I think I have the action just a tad too low on this guitar at the moment. So, yeah, I may need to raise the action up, and that's probably the crackling that you're hearing. Do we get Tonex captures or IRs from you? Yeah, you'll be getting some Tonex stuff soon. Nothing that I can talk about at the moment, but very, very soon you guys should be hearing some cool stuff. Would really, Cameron, I'm not sure what you're talking about with impulse responses or with profiles. Anything that I make is going to be my tones. I'm not really, I mean, I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I'm not interested in making big variety packs of amplifiers, trying to capture every different type of tone that the amplifier can produce. I am interested in making tones that I think sound good, that they're tones that I would use, you know what I mean? And whether that be for hardcore, whether that be for the really down-tuned stuff, or whether it be for my thrash bands or my my E standard hardcore stuff that I do, that's all just gonna be like, I'm just gonna dial stuff in the way that I like it. So I appreciate that you guys digging my tones though. For this amp, my initial impressions are this thing is like really, really hi-fi. Really clean, really hi-fi. I feel the same way about the Granifier, but the Granifier seems to have a little bit more character. The Obsidian almost seems like overly clean. Like it's kind of almost, it's so clean and precise that it's almost missing some aggression, I guess. Like, and there's not as much like fizz on the gain. It's just a really clean sounding amplifier. Do I ever discuss build quality? Not really, no. I just don't know enough about how these things are made to discuss, to like pull the amps apart and do gut shots and stuff. I don't know anything about that stuff offhand, and honestly, I'm not super interested in covering it. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, Cameron, but at the same time, I probably am going to dial them in and make them sound different than a lot of other people would. So you got to keep that in mind. I have a very specific sound. Everybody always lets me know that I have a very specific sound. So my profiles are going to sound like I dial everything in. So if you don't like my tones, profiles probably aren't going to be for you. But if you like the tones that I dial in, you might dig them. So let's mess around on the amp a little bit more. We've got the SM57 on the V30 here, so you should know what all that sounds like. I do have this guy, the Deadwell Duality pedal, on at the moment. Dude, that is the weirdest comment ever. Like, why would you even bother writing something like that? That's just odd. Woo! Did you hear that last little string rake I did? You heard every single note in that clear as day. That is really cool. However, I gotta say, the amp is almost too polite for me. Like, it's almost too clean. One thing I like about the Granifier is it has a lot of upper mid character to it. It's got a very unique kind of upper mid aggressive voicing to it. By the way, everybody say hi, Scott. Sorry, I didn't have my gray sweatpants on. Didn't have enough time to put them on for you, sweetheart. But everybody go subscribe to Chernobyl Studios YouTube channel. Check out his courses. I'm about to actually dive into his courses soon on recording, because I'm actually finally getting into the recording stuff. I recorded my band Human Animal, and you guys are going to see some videos on that soon on how I tracked everything and the outcome. But anyways, yeah, Scott's courses, I'm really looking forward to digging into those, the guitar tone mastery and stuff. Yeah, you're right, Scott. I don't know why I need a moderator. If anybody would like to be a future moderator for these live streams, let me know, because I'm tired of... Stop swearing, because then I have to allow all your comments. But anyways, yeah, super modern, and so is the Granifier. The Granifier is modern as well, but... yeah, I lost my train of thought. The Granifier is modern as well, but it just has more of... Dude, why are you talking about how I look? Stop talking about how I look, man. That's weird. We're talking about guitar tones, bro. I appreciate that you think that I am handsome, but I wore a hat long before I was bald, bro. I've been telling you to mod me? I don't even know what that means. Oh, to make you a mod. Yeah, moving forward, I will have some mods on these live streams, so I don't have to deal with that stuff. I've already got my hands full. Tone is sterile, Cameron. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's not a bad sounding amp at all. It's definitely not sounding bad. It's just almost too polite. It's almost too clean. All right, so yeah, somebody said higher output pickups. It's a Duncan distortion, so it's about as high as it's gonna get on the passive setting, or the passive front, without getting into the extreme stuff. Somebody asked me about VST version of this amp. You actually, guys, there is no VST version of the Obsidian. It's the Granifier. The Granifier is the neural plugin. We're playing through the Obsidian right now. what is it? What am I trying to say? Bare knuckle pickup. Somebody asked me if I like bare knuckle pickups. I have not met a bare knuckle pickup that I've liked more than Seymour Duncan or Gibson pickups. They all are nice and clear, but they all have a thing about them that just doesn't quite sit right with me. I do have a set of Alnico nail bombs in the other room though, so those are supposed to be going into one of my Les Pauls pretty soon here. Somebody said, can we hear this in drop C with an HM2 pedal for science? Drop C, yes. HM2 pedal, no. I think everybody pretty much knows that I hate HM2 pedals. I'm not into that tone unless it's blended underneath something else that sounds a little cleaner. Sorry, but not something I'm interested in doing at the moment. We can grab, ever try full tone OCD drive? Yes, lots of output. They sound, I like the OCD style pedals better than I do, or into like a slightly overdriven amp, more for rock and roll type tones than I do for metal, but that's just my opinion. They don't boost the mids nearly as much as like a TS9. Oh yeah, that's right. I completely forgot that pickups are now irrelevant because a YouTuber said so. We're getting cheeky today. Scott says no HM2 tones. He'll see himself out. It's about time I figured out how to get rid of you, bro. All right, so I have my newly acquired Edwards guitar. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I got a new Edwards Les Paul over the weekend. It may not stay in tune. I think that I need to file the nut a little bit. But anyways, let's turn this on. Let's see. This has a Duncan JB in the bridge. All right, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I like that even less than I did the Balaguer with the Duncan distortion. Let's grab my LTD that has the Bill Kelleher pickups in it because those have some like low mid grunts to it. Grunts? Multiple. It's got multiple low mid grunts. Just kidding. We're doubling up on the Edwards. All right, so this Edwards has that same Bill Kelleher dissonant aggressor in the bridge, though, so let's hear that. All right, so the amp, everybody say hi to Omega. Mike's in the room. He's going to give us some background information on the amp. Thanks for stopping in, Mike. That pickup, for whatever reason, was kind of squealing a lot, so I'm going to grab something else. But Mike says that the Omega was designed for Mick Thompson to essentially have a really clean, clear style high-gain amplifier. I can hear that, man. It's incredibly clear. It's incredibly clear. It's just missing a little bit of that aggression that I personally like, I guess, in the upper mids, but the clarity is definitely there for sure. Ugh. All right, so Gibson Les Paul Classic with the black winner. We got the Duncan black winner in this bad boy. So let's hear how it sounds for that. We're going to go back up to E standard. All right, so people are asking me if I'm getting fizz in the room. Yeah, I'm getting something. It's probably because I'm sitting so close to the amp. I'm getting some weird noise, but I'm also turned up loud and sitting directly next to the amp. So you're gonna have that. But that's probably what you guys are hearing. And again, the Omegas are so sensitive. Like, they pick up everything. They're so touch sensitive that sometimes they pick up the stuff that you don't want them to pick up too. So like me, when I'm not a good guitarist, So on my days where I'm even worse than others, like today where I didn't warm up and I'm not playing super, super tight, you guys are going to hear everything that I'm screwing up on an amp like this. So yeah, but those are the noises that you guys are hearing. It's because I'm sitting right next to the amp. It's picking up every little tiny thing. Like I'm just sitting too close to it with the volume high. If I were playing in a bigger room and I wasn't sitting right next to it, it probably wouldn't be making those noises. String gauge. On Les Pauls, I play 10 to 52 in E standard. I like my strings nice and beefy and tight. But anyways, yeah. So, yeah, you guys keep asking me for a guitar with active pickups, so I'm going to deliver. All right, so, yeah, we've got my Schecter E1 here with the Fishman Fluence modern pickups in it. This guitar is brand new. I actually have an unboxing video in the pipeline for this one, so you guys are getting a little sneak peek. This thing had a major issue from the factory, and I definitely am talking a lot of shit on Schecter in the video. Something I don't normally do, but the issue that this guitar came with was pretty friggin' ridiculous, if you're asking me. So, so this pickup sounds like something's goofy with it. It has no low end whatsoever. Is the effects loop on or off? It's off. Okay. Yeah, to me, this sounds awful. These, I don't know, man. I don't like Fishman's and E standard for anything anyways. So, yeah, take that for what it's worth. But this is like Cocteau City at the moment. So we're going to switch to something else. All right, so EMG 81 here. Let's try this. This should be better. All right, so I certainly agree. I think that's much better than the Fishman's for sure. Let's try a different boost though. Let's try some. The Boss SD1 tends to have a little bit more hair on it. So let's try that. We're probably going to need to adjust our top end and stuff though. Yeah, man, that works the best so far in my personal opinion. The EMGs, you guys know I don't even like EMGs 9 out of 10 times. They're very situational pickups for me, but that sounds good. Also, turning the effects loop off bumped the volume a tad, so if there was any sort of fizz or anything on the palm mutes or any sort of crackling, that's why I was actually clipping there for a second. But yeah, what do you guys think overall? What do you guys think of the tone? I should probably plug into the Granifier. That way you guys can just get an idea of how they sound back to back. That's it right there, EMGs. Yeah, we'll do one. Somebody keeps crying for no boost because they're weak weirdos who don't use good gear. So we're going to turn the boost off. And we're going to play like dumb little idiots. All right. I'm just kidding. Here we go. Sorry, the freaking string is stuck in the nut. Sounds best straight in the input, said nobody who knows what they're talking about ever. All right, so that was without a boost. Now let's kick on a boost. Yep, gotta disagree with you guys. I think it sounds better with the boost. It's just way too clean for me personally with no boost. Like, there's no hair, no fizz whatsoever, and I want hair, and I want fizz. But if you guys prefer it without, that's fine. Here it is again, no boost. All right, so yeah, there we go. We'll do a drop C riff. You guys are awfully demanding today. All you're doing is asking for everything I'm not doing. We're going to go back with the Deadwall Duality because that one has a nice little booty to it. All right, so dropping the tuning, I instantly like this thing better. I instantly like it better. I think it sounds really mean down in drop C. So let's riff for a second. All right, so yes, this was obviously not made with little E standard idiots like myself in mind. This amp was made to be tuned down, for sure. I think that sounds awesome, actually. I really dig that. Scott, I'm sorry, but this is actually copyrighted under Belligerent Amateur Media, so nobody else can do what I'm doing, even though I'm already copying every other YouTuber who's already come before me. So, sorry, bro. But yeah, if you do some live streams, let me know. I'll jump in. All right, so we're going to go back to this guitar with the Duncan Distortion, because I want to hear how this one sounds drop tune. That's nasty. All right, so I am running out of time because girlfriend's going to be home. The fiance, I apologize. The fiance is going to be home shortly, and then it's time to go run. But we're going to change over to the Omega real quick. From the Omega. We're going to go from the Omega to the Omega. So you guys tell me which Omega is more Omega to you. Yeah. So the Granifier is what started my love affair with Omega amps. Well, technically it was the Iridium that I borrowed from Jason. So let's dial this puppy in real quick. All right, there we go. So the Obsidian it's not that different in the voicing. It's not that different in the voicing. Where it's different overall is it's super clean. It's super hi-fi. If you're doing like really surgical, technical stuff, big open chords, and then doing a lot of the, I mean, I hate to say it, but like djenty, a lot of the djent tones I've noticed are really clean. Like they don't have that same type of like saturation to the distortion. They're very surgical and technical type tones where you can hear every little thing. The Obsidian seems like it would excel at that stuff, especially if we're talking about 7, 8 strings, 9 strings. Like the clarity from this amp was just absolutely unreal. But moving over to the Granifier, Granifier is just more my world because it's got more of that classic fizz to it. You know, I'm used to rectifiers and 5150s. That's what I started playing on. That's what I've played for years. That's what I love. And there's just more of the frequencies that I'm familiar with in this amp, and it's just a little less clean. It's a little bit more rude, you know what I mean? And I prefer it. But I wish that I had a setup that I could put them both together at the same time. And also, I think a different cab and a different speaker is going to benefit the Obsidian a lot. I think that if we were to use maybe H75s and like an oversized cab for this thing, or maybe even the Redbacks would be a good pair, I think that that would be dope. Wish they weren't so expensive. Dude, building stuff in the USA with top quality components just doesn't come cheap, guys, unfortunately. It does not come cheap. And when it comes to the world of like boutique amplifiers, they're not crazy priced at all. They're really not. So just keep that in mind. I do, but I just don't have enough inputs on my current interface and everything in order to do what I want to do. But thank you, Arthur. Dude, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that, dude. Thank you. Appreciate the support from all you guys. Seriously, really appreciate it. The Obsidian, not this one. I am going to keep this one. This one has 6L6s in it, by the way. I actually think that this amp would maybe sound a little bit more gnarly with the KT66s in it, because they did offer the KT66s as an option for a while, and I think that that would add some of the high-end kind of aggressiveness to it that I think that would be really beneficial. By the way, guys, hit the like button if you can. I would really appreciate it. It does do a lot in terms of getting the videos out in front of other people who haven't seen them already, but hitting that like button, very big help. And of course, if you want to help the channel, down in the description, my affiliate links, that stuff helps immensely, more than you guys know. Like that, if it weren't for the affiliate links, then I would not make enough money to do anything other than cover my bills from YouTube. So affiliate links are a big deal. I will be in your inaugural Amptone live stream. You should do more than one a year. Or inaugural's the first. I'm an idiot, dude. My brain is not working. All right, so yeah, I'll get the gray sweatpants ready, bro. My brain isn't gonna come though. No, you can't find them on eBay or Reverb because they're built to order. They're built to order amplifiers. They come in small batches, and if you want to buy them, you either have to get in when they announce that they're making a run, or you got to buy them used. So unfortunately, the Granifier will never leave my possession. But if you guys want an Obsidian, I am selling an Obsidian. So you'll trade me an Archon for the Grandma Finder. I will trade you 3 Archons for 1 amp, maybe. But yeah, let's hear a couple more tones real quick. Cameron, I'm not sure what you're looking at, but when I looked at the Obsidian sold listings, they were definitely more in the $3,300 to $3,500 end. So you're going to have to come up with a little bit more than that. Those are sold listings too. All right, thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Seriously, I appreciate the support. I appreciate the support. All right, so the Granifier, we're going to go back over to the Obsidian one more time. I'm going to try to dial it in for the low drop C tones one more time, and then we're going to call this stream a day. So hang out for just a little bit more. Hit that like button if you haven't hit it, because that stuff helps. Please do me a favor and hit the like button. Hardly anybody did last time. I don't think that you guys like me very much. All right, back into the Obsidian. But then I switch back over to the Obsidian and I instantly like it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Recency bias. All right, so yeah, definitely, they both sound awesome. I still prefer the Granifier for my personal taste, but this one definitely does not sound bad by any means. Sounds nasty, dude. Sounds really, really good. The one that I'm going to be selling is, like I said, it's brand new. It'll literally ship in the original box that it came in. It was built in September. It's got really low hours on it. I'm going to list it at $3,500. I will take reasonable offers. So hit me up if you are interested in that amp, but just keep in mind that's no wait time, because there's a wait list and they actually have discontinued this amplifier as far as I know. They opened up one more run of 10 not that long ago. All the spots got filled up pretty much immediately. So, but yeah, I think this thing sounds awesome. Let's try and dial in one more tone, and then we're going to call it for the day. Ancient Alien, they will never be in stock. They're not a stocked item. They're built to order only. So you have to get on a wait list, which is about 4 months at minimum to order one. So just keep that in mind. There will never be stock of these from the dealer or from the manufacturer. No, the traditional cabs do not have too much top end chime. This cab is actually darker than the oversized cab, and Mesa cabs are darker in general than any other V30 loaded cab. So not quite sure what you're talking about there, bro. Yeah, this thing gets better the lower the tuning goes, but yeah. It's going to do it for me today, guys. That was a fun little impromptu stream. But yeah, so this is weird. I'm going to do it because you guys are asking, but I don't know why anybody asks how an amp sounds without a gate on for high gain tones, because if you're playing high gain tones, you should have a gate. Like, it doesn't matter how silent the amp is. Like, you're still going to get feedback. You're still going to get other stuff coming through. Keep that in mind. I know that you want to see basically how quickly it feeds back without a gate, but in what situation are you actually using that? That's what I'm curious about. I've got a bad cable, so take that for what it is. This is with no gate on. Nope, that's not correct because we have the... There we go. Even so, not realistic because I'm sitting right next to the amp and it's loud. So, I mean, I don't think that really helps anybody, but because you asked, there you go. What are top competitors for the Grano in the super modern space? I don't know, man. Honestly, Angle. I would think Angle is kind of the closest thing, but Angles are a lot more compressed. They're a lot more processed sounding in most cases. Not that that's a bad thing. I mean, it's just a different thing. But I would say Angle probably is for the modern high gain thing is the closest comparable type amp and tone. But but yeah, I think that's it. No, the Framus doesn't sound anything like it. The Stealth doesn't sound anything like these. I mean, these, regardless, they very much have their own tone. They both have an upper mid thing going on that I don't hear in any other amplifiers. So to compare them directly to something else, they don't sound like anything else. They very much have their own voicing. So, yeah, like I said, if I was going to compare it directly to something, I think something that gets, I guess, somewhat in the ballpark would be Angle. But the Framus definitely does not sound modern in my opinion. But the Stealth is, I don't know. The Stealth isn't really all that modern either because it doesn't have those modern upper mids. When I think of modern sounding amplifiers, they have that kind of more rounded upper mid profile. But yeah. Nah, man, the Purple Nightmare doesn't sound anything like the Obsidian, and that's a good thing in my opinion. The Purple Nightmares are cool, but in my opinion, they're nothing special. That's just me. Sorry to anybody who loves Purple Nightmares, but for me personally, I think they sound good, but I would much rather have either of these amplifiers over any Purple Nightmare stuff. So, no, I still love 50 watt amps. I think that they make the most sense for most applications. Unless it's a Mesa 50 watt, because Mesa 50 watt amps are weak. In all reality, they don't have the headroom. Like they just put under spec transformers in their amps, and at 50 watts, they just run out of headroom. That happened with my TC50. It's happened with my Badlander, and it happened with the single rectifier. So yeah, that's my personal opinion though. And I also play in bands that are very loud, but any other 50 watt amp that I mess with, like the EVHs, my VHT Deliverance is a 60 watt amp. They have more than enough headroom, more than enough volume. Would I pick the Omega or the Stealth? Probably the Stealth, but that's just because I'm used to the 5150 thing. The 5150 is home for me. That's what sounds the most familiar. That's the kind of tone that I search for on a regular basis. So, but yeah, I think that's going to do it for me today, guys. Thank you for the questions. Thank you everybody who left a super chat and gave me the support there. I really appreciate that stuff. It really does help. Again, if you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button on the way out. And then drop a comment. Let me know which amp that you liked better in the comment section, not in the live chat, but in the comment section on the way out. And yeah, I'm curious to hear what you guys think. I think I know generally what people are going to say regardless, but always curious to see what you guys say in the comments. So do me a favor, leave that. I'm going to get out of here. It's time to go hit the bricks and run. So hope you guys have a good rest of the day. Should have a video up tomorrow. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out, guys.